afternoon, and you're welcome to the Edfrica uh, webinar for today. My name is Adewale Kehinde, and I am the Media and Communications Lead for Edfrica. We're glad to have you join us today. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you had a great week. All right, great. This is 5 minutes past 4 p.m. Just as I promised that we're starting at exactly 5 minutes past 4 p.m. Okay. Like I said earlier, for those who just joined, my name is Adewale Kehinde, and I'm welcoming you to this webinar because we believe it's going to be a great one for you. Okay, because I know we're much and allowing us all to introduce ourselves, probably unmuting the mic and introduce yourself might take us a longer time. So I would love us to do it this way. We want to know you. Yes, you're meeting us, you're knowing you. So we want to know you. You can use the chat box. Let's just know your name. Can send in your name, where you're joining us from, and your expectation. Just use the chat box. Let us know your name, where you're joining us from, and what's your expectation. Can we do that in 2 minutes in the chat box? I'm here to see someone introduce them. Okay, well, great. I'm already seeing some introductions. Hi, Michael. You're coming from Lagos. Hi, it's good to have you. So expectation is how to access fund for your business after today. You definitely will learn that because we have seasoned speakers who are going to take us through this section for today. Okay, so while we are doing that, let me quickly, for those of us who don't know about Edfrica, let me quickly do an introduction of Edfrica. I know some of us would have seen, probably you saw the flyer and you registered, or someone shared with you, or you saw the ads and you registered via the ads, and you probably might not really have much knowledge or about what Edfrica or who Edfrica is. Okay, so let me give me that room to tell you what Edfrica is today. Yeah, it sounds like Africa. Yeah, it's Africa, but this is the meaning of Edfrica itself. Here at Edfrica, what we do is educating and empowering African entrepreneurs with opportunities, just like you're on this call this evening. What we do is we educate you and also we empower you with some opportunities that you need to help your business grow, to help your brand grow. That's what we do at Edfrica, and this is what our mission and vision statement is. What we see as a brand is a continent with accountable leaders and value-driven entrepreneurs. You as a leader and you're value-driven as a business person. Our vision is that towards a continent where youth believe and exhibit right entrepreneurial and leadership values. So at least our mission and our vision, they are both intertwining because that is what we believe in. That's okay. We have a continent where we have accountable leaders and value-driven persons, entrepreneurs, and both youths. And as far as you're an entrepreneur, you're value-driven. You're not just doing business for the sake of doing business, but there is value. You're giving out value from what you're doing. And so far so good. We have a good track record. If you look at these are testimonials, what Edfrica has been able to do over the years. At least over the years now, we've had more than 5,000 community members who are joining our community. We've supported more than 20,000 small business owners, just like you on this call today. And we have over 200 business consultants that has joined us who are always available to help you out in case you have challenges that you want to scale on. We have consultants who help do that. Then at least for funds, we have over 350,000 US dollars that has been assessed by small business owners. We've had MSME conference that was in 2019, a leadership conference in 2017. We had a growth series webinar in 2020, an entrepreneurship ecosystem support and partnership in 2021 and 22. We've also had cross-continental linkage programs. We've had business incubation programs, funding news and media platforms. If you go through our platforms, you will always find daily news about fundings and opportunities. Like you remember, I said earlier that what we do is we educate you and we empower you entrepreneurs with funding opportunities. So that's what we do every time. We ensure that entrepreneurs have access to these opportunities. And so far, so good. We have been able to support 50 entrepreneurship support organizations in 2022, 2023. Then we premier them entrepreneurship. If you go up on our social media platforms, you'll find series of Vox Pop videos. And for those who feel like, okay, why should we work with you? Why should we align with you? These are the things that that allows you to work with Edfrica. There are numerous benefits. We have personalized one-on-one services that you can reach out. We'll have with you. You get what you want. You are able to discuss. Okay, this is what the challenge is, and you get someone to a consultant to help you diversify that challenge and help you give you the right solution to that challenge. You have unlimited access to opportunities. There's financial security for you. There are mentorship programs that you can also plug into. So, what are the benefits? Oh, okay, I'm working with Edfrica now. What are the benefits I get to enjoy? See, there are personalized business growth, improved knowledge, opportunity maximization, efficient user experience, and you're just there are numerous benefits you enjoy when you're with us. Some upskill opportunity, strategic network chance, resource availability, and so on. There are so many things you get to enjoy when you're uh, you're joining Edfrica. You get to work with us after now. So let me move on. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so I wish Doctor was on the is Doctor, are you on the call? Okay, he's not on the call. Or I've loved him to introduce himself, but he's not on the call. But let me do that myself. There's no organization without a head, and so we have a head here as well, in person of Dr. Emmanuel Odumnoso, who is the visionary and the co-founder of Edfrica. He's so passionate about entrepreneurship, so passionate about seeing business owners grow, expand. He's like a calling now. Let me say, it's like a ministry to him that he holds so dear. That's he wants to ensure that business owners are not just they are not stagnant. Those around him, at least the way he can reach out to business. So that is what prompted the establishment of Edfrica. That okay, how can we give back to the society? How can we help people that lack knowledge in these areas on how to expand their business? Just not everybody should be doing business like the roadside person. Some person should get the adequate knowledge they need. Does not mean the roadside person doesn't have knowledge, but they are limited. There are limitations to the knowledge they have. And so we felt, okay, this way we can bring in people to have the adequate knowledge. And that was what bettered Edfrica. And so these are one of the things we do also. These webinars like this are the programs we hold to ensure that people are equipped with the right knowledge they need, so that you just don't start business or you just feel, okay, because Shade is doing it, I can also do it, or because Tunde is doing it, I can also do it, without the right knowledge to help you put the right peg in the right hole. So that is why we are holding this webinar. And today we have two great speakers who will be speaking to us on how we can assess funding, how we can get the grants that we need, the right knowledge that we need. And today we have Mr. Paul Akolade with us, who will be taking us on a section. We also have Mr. Caspar Joe Okpara. Mr. Paul, are you on the call, sir? No, I've seen you earlier.
I am here.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so before I hand over to Mr. Paul, I would love to read a brief of Mr. Paul to everybody. I know some persons might have known about Vant, but if you've always heard about Vant, today you're going to be listening to the founder of Vant, the man himself behind Vant, who has. So this is Mr. Paul Akolade, the founder and the CEO of Vant. You can see he's a certified digitalization consultant and a business advisor. He's a founder, team lead at Vant. Vant's drive growth for African MSMEs, empowering Nigerian small businesses with digital tools and strategic clarity. So far, so good. We had to look for among the best. We needed to get the best for this webinar, and Mr. Mr. Paul, Mr. Caspar happened to be one of the best we could get. And look at his achievements. He has led strategic initiative boosting MSMEs access to global markets. He has designed automation and analytics tools for business acceleration, spearheaded partnership backed by AWS Build 2023. You see, he has mentored entrepreneurs and ecosystem enablers across Ogun State. He's a regular speaker on digital innovation. He's a patron at Ogun Enablers Network, an ecosystem builder, catalyzing startup innovation in Ogun State. His area of expertise is business strategy and digital transformation, e-commerce development, AI-powered analytics and automation. Also, he's an MSME growth and scale planning. He's an expert in those areas. So Mr. Paul Akolade is here to take us on this section, and I believe that you have your pen, you have your notes with you to get points from Mr. Paul, because it's going to be a great section. So Mr. Paul, please, while Mr. Paul takes over from me, let me, at least if you can unmute your mic, just welcome you, or you can use the chat box, or let me see your emoji. Yeah, let me see your emoji. You can welcome Mr. Paul. So Mr. Paul Akolade, please, you can have the floor now, sir. Thank you. Please welcome Mr. Paul for me.
I was looking in the mirror and I was like, is it me that is being introduced like this? Like I was like, miss me myself, I'm meeting me. Thank you so much for those introductions. Right. So we are going to step into it shortly. So is there anybody on this call that runs a business? Like you run a business, just let me see your reaction. Let me see your reaction. You run a business, let me see your reaction. Okay, good. So then another quick question is that are you any one of you that runs the business, do you need money? Like, are you actively looking for money for your business? If you are looking for money for your business, just let me see your reactions. You are looking for money, right? Okay. Then are you looking for money that someone will give you and you don't have to pay back? Like money that they will just give you and you won't have to pay back. Oh, I see a lot of people want that, right? Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I'm going to be showing you how to get money that someone will give you for your business that you don't have to pay back, right? I will also be showing you how to get the one that we pay back, right? But you should not go and collect the one that they will be chasing you with cutlass and they will be sending your WhatsApp picture everywhere, right? And then, of course, I will be showing you the one that other people can also give to you, but for some form of partnership, right? So those are the three types of funding that I'll be sharing. And I would also be sharing my screen shortly. And I have a slide, but I will be saying a lot of things outside of my slide. So I would also encourage you to take a pen and just, note some things down, or as it inspires, right? So just give me a second to get that ready. Yes. So we are going to be speaking about funding, as I've said, right? Everybody wants free money, right? One of the things that is key about money is the fact that money for businesses is a lifeline. It's a fuel that allows the business to. It's a fuel that allows the business to grow effectively. It's like a lubricant, right? Without money, a business can easily die off. In fact, the record says in Nigeria that up to 80% of businesses that are started die off within the first 2 years, right? Of course, there's a lot of factors that contribute to them dying, but one of the key factors is money. And money can be money in different forms. Either that they are not making enough revenue, either that they are making revenue or losing money. Losing money can be that probably their operations cost, how much the expenses they have in the business is way more than the revenue they are generating, right? So it could be other forms of issues regarding money. It could be mismanagement, it could be all of stuff like that. But money is the lifeblood of a business, right? And if there is no money, all the dreams would go to die. So it is important that we know how to get that money we are talking about, right? Because I just said how important it is. So, now, what are the 3 ways that we can get money that is available typically. So there is grants, right? And grants are either from government or private. And then there are loans, and then there are investments. And we're going to cover all those three areas, right? Grants, loans, and investment. And I'll try as much as possible to be able to cover them um, in the short time that I do have. So to start off, right, what are grants? Right, grants is basically the free money that you get, and nobody comes to ask you to pay back, right? And the criteria for grants depends on different organizations that are issuing those grants, right? But people, there are organizations, there are individuals that literally give you money to build your business. And so I want to ask a question. Does anybody know before now that, do you know that there are people who are ready to give you money for your business and they are not asking you to pay back? If you know that, can I say reaction? A reaction? Can you give me a reaction? You know that, oh, fantastic, 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 fantastic. Okay, good. So now I think that because a lot of us and a lot of people on the call know that there are people who are willing to sorry, Chinedu, if that's it, okay, I think you are replying to what the question I just asked. Okay, good, I've seen that. Now, if there are people who are willing to give this, so I'm back. Can you still see me? My network tripped for a second. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. So now, one of the ways that you can align to get grants is by identifying those grants that you need, how they align with your business, and why are those grants, released, right? And how they align with your business in the sense of that, what are you doing, and what is the purpose of that grant, and how can you align your business to the purpose of that grant to ensure that you qualify. Now, for places where you can get grants, right? Edfrica in itself is a place where you can get grants, like in terms of different types of grants. Information is there, right? There are places like opportunities. There's websites like opportunities, global opportunities, right? And there's another website that is called small grants and global grants. So basically, you can, and of course, just by doing a Google search, you can find existing grants and apply to them. But there are some grants that are one-off. There are some grants that are recurring. For example, we have grants like you win. We have grants like that come from Lagos State, and even your ability to get these grants also determine on the location where your business is. But there are some grants that do not limit. They are not location specific, so they do not hinder you from your location. There is Tony Elumelu Foundation grant. There is IN grant, right? I've written a bunch of other ones here. There is Shell Livewire grant. There is African Women's Development Fund. There is I Fund Women grants. There's She Trades Nigerian grants. There is African Business Heroes grant, right? There's Mastercard Foundation Agribusiness Fund. There's MTN Yellowpreneur grant, right? There's Faith Foundation Revolving Loan Fund. The Faith Foundation Revolving Loan Fund gives up to 10 million naira in grants, and sorry, in loans rather, right? But it's a low interest loan, right? I think we'll come to that. So there's Think W Initiative grant, right? And NSCTF actually also gives a form of grant and loan. They give grants and they also give loans, right? So there's also the YES program by Bank of Industry, right? So there's lots and lots and lots of them where you can get funds for your business. But the most important thing, right, that in the step that actually that limits businesses from being able to acquire these grants is inability to communicate what they do effectively, inability to apply and submit an outstanding application that stands you out from the crowd, that allows that your business is being chosen to show the effect of what you're doing. Now, most grants grants are actually given to mostly not NGOs, right? Or businesses. So they are, for example, your business can be a for-profit business or a non-profit business. So when you say your business is a for-profit business, you're talking about that your business is majorly focused on making money and making profits, right? You are selling an item, you are producing a service, you are giving a value, but you are collecting money for that. And your business can be a non-profit. Basically, you are selling something, you are giving something, but you are not collecting money for it, right? Or that when you are collecting money from it, that the money you collect is being funded by another organization, or it is people that crowdfund to support you. For example, if there's a friend of mine that supports that runs a business, so he has an NGO, a non-profit, and he has a for-profit. So the for-profit arm, they do free clinical diagnostics for women, women at disadvantage, right? And a lot of that. They do a lot of those initiatives. Now, those initiatives cost a lot of money. Sometimes they have to raise money from the public to just, fund that process. That's a form of grants, right? Or that's a form of funding, right? Other times, they've actually won different funding too. They've won funding from Carrington Fellowship, right? Which is powered by American Corners and the likes, right? So those people actually powered them to actually create those initiatives that have social impact, right? So this friend I'm talking about has a business, a diagnostic company that collects money for profit, but as an arm of the same business that is non-profit, right? And is able to get grants that powers that non-profit arm of his business, right? So that is able to do and create a lot of impact in the community. So now your ability to get grants is usually about the level of impact that initiative you want to use to apply for that grant can do, right? What is the impact and what is the outcome of that impact, right? Before you started that initiative, what was happening? After you started that initiative, what impact is now being felt, right? What is it now contributing to the society? How the people you've impacted, how are they better off after you've impacted them? Or how will they be better off when you impact them, right? So, and then another thing to also note is that grants, people that call out the grants, like I said, they are either organizations or individual, right? It is to note that some of these grants come from funds, like it could be foundations. For example, Bill Gates Foundation, Melinda Gates Foundation, the wife of Jeff Bezos has a foundation, right? A whole lot of different foundations like that, either created by wealthy people or created by organizations, right? In Nigeria, even in US, right? For example, Access Bank has a foundation that gives money to entrepreneurs, right? I can't remember the name of that now. So basically, all of these people are trying to create social impact in the society, right? So if you are also doing that and you are also targeting some form of social impact, you need to be able to write that and communicate that social impact effectively. Now, when you are writing and creating that social impact, you need to be able to communicate what makes you different from every other person, right? What are you doing uniquely, right, regarding your impact, or regarding your social enterprise, or your non-profit enterprise, or your NGO? All these words are interchangeable words, right? You could say you are a social enterprise. You could say that you're a for non-profit, or you're an NGO, right? What makes you unique, right? What makes you unique, right? It is important that you must be able to communicate that clearly. Another thing that will give you an edge with grant application is that you must ensure that the grant you are applying for, you actually even meet the criteria of the grant. So there are some people who apply for grants, you just apply for random grants, right? And you don't look at the specific criteria that is required for that grant to be granted, right? So you are just applying, and maybe someone shared this one, they are giving money, everybody, you go and apply. No, you have to sit down, look at the criteria. Okay, Do I qualify? There's usually an age criteria. From what age to what age? Do I fall into that bracket? Number two, do they have a level of impact criteria? Do they have a location criteria? Do they have some form of equity impact criteria? Equity or equality can mean that maybe they want gender balance in your organization, or maybe they want women to be women leaders in your organization, women-led businesses or women-led non-profits, that they want a woman to be at the head for them to recognize and to for them to consider you for that grant. Is that part of that criteria? All of those criteria are things that you must pay attention to and see how you align. Now, if you fall short of some of those criteria, then you then have to ask yourself, what can I do to bridge that gap? Right? Is there something I can do to bridge the gap in terms of the criteria? Right? If you can bridge the gap, then bridge that gap and apply. Now, another thing you can also do with respect to applying is that it is important to know that you must learn to communicate your story well. And basically is me saying storytelling. You must tell your stories. One of the mistakes that people make or business owners make is that they seem to forget that people are more moved by emotions. They are more moved by feelings. They are more moved by the story, right? That resonates with them first. That's the first thing. Buying decisions are usually first emotional before they become rational, right? So you must lead with a story, right? That is very relatable. That carries a lot of weight, especially that I'm finding an echo. Sorry, someone's mic is on. Okay, thank you. Right, a story that is very relatable, right? So you must be able to tell a story. That story opens the door for you, right? It makes them understand your why. So you must have a strong why. Why do you start this initiative, right? If you don't have a why, if your why is not battered on solving real problems or making real impact, right? The people approving the grants or right that would preview your grant application can easily see through the smoke screen, right? Then another thing also is that because grants, grantors, people who call out for the grant application, ask thousands of grants to review. And even God helping you, nowadays it could even be some level of automation to sieve down the grant applications, right? So you must use specific keywords, right? That relates to what they are looking for. You must because they have particular things. The grants criteria will tell you what they are looking for, what type of impact they are focused on, right? So you must go to that website of that grantor that is calling for that grantor and look at their previous works. Which kind of businesses have they given grants to before? This particular grant, which type of businesses have won it before? What are those businesses doing? What do they favor most, right? So take all of that, you will take all of that information and use it in preparing your own grant application when you are answering the questions. Questions like, what level of impact have you done? Or why are you applying for this application? Or why did you start the non-profits that you are starting, right? Or and various endless questions that they would ask you, right? So it is important to take some of these things that I just stated into heart. Now, another thing also is that as a business owner, you also have to understand delegation. Your expertise may not there are some people, right? Okay, so I want to see your hand. If someone gives you 1 million naira and tell you to sell something, you cannot sell anything if your life depends on it, or that you are not just great at writing. Is there anybody like that? Let me see your reactions. You are not great at writing and you can't sell anything if your life depended on it, right? So yes, I just seen some reactions. So there are some people like that. So now if you are like that, you must identify self-awareness is quite important. You must identify your own strengths and your own weaknesses, right? If you are not a great writer and you cannot comfortably write a story, a compelling story to tell about what you are doing, right? That means you could be at a disadvantage to your own business and to yourself. Get someone who can do that for you. Get a grant writer. Get a grant proposal writer that can help you create a meaningful story, a convincing application for you to use to apply for those specific application. That's another way that you can go about it in terms of applying for those applications. Else, you will just observe that it's probably someone who is not even doing up to what you are doing that will get that particular grant, right? Meanwhile, you that you are doing way much more, you are not getting the grant because you are not able to tell your story effectively and in the way that it should be told. Right. Another thing that we need to, yes, I think I've mentioned a few of the grant opportunities. For example, Tony Elumelu gives up to about $5,000 in seed funding, right? And they do that yearly. You Win Connect gives between 2 million naira to 10 million naira, right? Youth Focus Grant by NYIF, they give up to 3 million naira, and be inclusive of business training. LSCTF gives up to 10 million naira, right? They give up to 10 million naira. And like I mentioned earlier, it's both a combination of loans and grants, right? They give grants to. I and even a lot of other organizations have been beneficiaries of the grants that they have given, right? And I also mentioned quite a number of others. Then something else that I wanted to mention earlier that I've not mentioned is also, which I would also from this is also a plan, right? For example, you can't apply for a grant effectively if you don't have a plan. And what do I mean? A business plan, right? You can't just get to a grant application and just wing it. You must create a plan that shows a step-by-step process, or at least a outline process of what your business is doing or what it intends to do, that non-profit or the impact you're trying to make in. Who are the people managing it? How are you going to execute it, or how have you been executing it if you have been doing it for a while, right? What is the growth, the fund you want to collect? What do you want to use it to do, right? That's what you want to use it to. How do you intend to execute that process, or what you intend to use it to do, right? So they can't be giving grants and then they'll tell you to apply for grants, and you will say that, oh, I want to use my grant to buy Labubu, or what's the name of this new thing that is in the market now, right? So nobody will give you grant money for that, right? And you cannot say that I want to use it for. You cannot say that I want to use it for to do a bridge in my community, and then by the time you do that bridge, even rats cannot step on the bridge and cross it without falling into the gutter or into the beach, right? Okay, grant for thank you, grant for love. Do you understand, right? So there's also a level of what is it called, integrity that must matter, right? In fact, when you're applying for grants, you should be able to show a previous track record of implementations you have done before, right? And a track record that shows your credibility. So that way, they know that the person they are giving this grant to is not someone that wants to come and collect money and just come out, right? It's someone that is truly concerned to actually create an impact in the world, right? And in their community. Do you get me? Right? So it is important. And of course, your goals have to be smart. You are not going to come and collect grants. And let's say now you are in one town in Ekiti State, and then you say you want a $50,000 grant, or a 5 million naira grant, or a 10 million naira grant. And then you now say what do you want to use the grant for, or what impact you want to use it for? And you now say that you want to use it to change the world. I mean, I'm just so passionate about changing the world. I want to change the world. The Americans are suffering. people in Gaza are suffering. I want to change the world, right? As passionate as that is, and as noble as it is, nobody will give you grant funding for that, because that intention is not even a smart goal, right? It's not smart, right? There is no credible outline of how you can even achieve that. Even the money they are asking for, is it enough to achieve that goal you want to achieve? Do you get right? So you have to be very careful what you say and how you say it, right? And if you peradventure have an impact that you want to make that the fund cannot cover for it, then you must be able to clearly state what other channels you have of income or another form of funding that you have that can cover for those gaps, right? They don't want to give you money that is not even enough to implement or even to start what you want to do, right? So they want to ensure that the money they are giving you is able to effect on, what needs to be done and what you want to do. So that is quite important. And of course, like I said, communication is everything. Communicating it effectively is everything. And as I've shared on my slide, I said match your business profile. I've said that before, that you should understand the stage where you are based on their own requirements, the demographics, the location, the success rate, and all. Verify legitimacy of the grants. Don't be sure that you are not falling for a scam grant, right? Or some people that will say you should go and pay this amount to get this particular grant and stuff like that. Just ensure that the organization that is, that the grantors are legitimate companies. Do your verification. And like I said, prepare a strong documentation, right? A strong business plan, accurate financials, right? Evidence of social impact. What are the things you've done before, right? Accurate financials. How do you want to implement, right? Even in fact, if probably you already have estimates of the cost from reliable vendors that of where you are going to spend the money, you can provide it. Instantly, it shows to them that you are an organization or an individual that is accountable, right? All of these things are not actually hard to do, sincerely, right? You imagine that, let's say you want to do an impact, and probably you need to transport people, right? And you need to print roll-up banners, and you need to rent a hall. You can, as well ahead of time, go and find out the cost for those things and document the cost. Do you get right? If you can get an invoice, prepare an invoice, or if those people can share you an invoice, they can share you an invoice ahead, right? And if they cannot share you an invoice, if it is the what is it called? If those places have emails for those grant, for the organizations that you are applying your grant to, if the people that you need to buy things from have emails or phone numbers that you can attach to each of the claim for your spendings, you can write it there so that they can do their verification. Do you understand? So that sets you apart from the crowd, because you show that you are truly credible and they can trust you with the money. And of course, aligned with funders' mission. I've said it before. What specific area, what is their theme for which they want to release the funds, right? So that is very important. Then, of course, if we move forward, apologies, let me just yes. So winning grant application, the extra mile. I've mentioned this already, but I'll just iterate on it again. You have to demonstrate value add. That's where I was talking about your unique selling points, yeah, right? Your unique points or your unique impact points. You can call it UIP, right? Instead of USP, right? UIP is your unique impact point for your non-profit, right? UIP. What's your UIP, right? And clear measurement of frameworks, right? How do you also measure impact at the work you do, right? So how do you measure impact? Showcase your team's capacity. Ensure visual clarity, right? Your presentation must be clear, right? When you whatever you write, it must not be too. You must not use ambiguous words. It needs to be clear, right? And well with well organized appendices. That means that where you need to use bullet points, it's better it is in bullet points. You don't just sum up words together and go and put it there expecting them to read it, right? They probably have to read maybe 5,000 or 1,000 other applications Do you think that they are going to spend 5 hours or 3 hours reading your own application? Right? So those are some of the things you have to consider, right? And of course, you have to follow up, right? When you apply for a grant or for anything, you follow up and you inquire about the status. There are some applications that you do that there's already a dashboard that you see the status, right? But there are some that is just via email. You can write to them. It shows that, oh, you are mindful of these things and you really desire it, right? Right. And then, of course, maximum non-financial benefits. Outside of the financial benefits for grants and all of that, right, there are other non-financial benefits. Some of them come with specific trainings. Some of them come with opportunities to network that can give you potential avenue for future grants, even with other grantors, right? Other applications. Because if you're able to build that, probably you did a training with this particular platform that organization that offers grants, and you're able to get a certification from them, you can use that as a credibility measure in your application to another grant. So it's not just about the financial benefits. There is just more to it than the financial benefits. So you must be willing to take part and take opportunity of all of those opportunities that it brings in its own ecosystem. And of course, even there are physical events that are held by those organizations that provide the grants. If you are available for any of their events, one of the things you need to do is sign up for their newsletters, right? So that in case they even have new opportunities, you'll be the set of people to first get it directly into your email, right? Or they have a networking event. You can show up there and actually meet people behind the scene of that organization. That way you can introduce yourself. So you are not just a strange face behind the computer anymore. There is a real connection that is starting to happen. So that even when your application finally comes in, or you are now applying, right? It is easier for someone to resonate with, we know this person, we've met him or her one or two times. We understand what they are doing. We've seen it and all of that. So those are some of the ways that you can really position yourself. So we are also going to talk about loans quickly right now. But I want to also assure you that please, there'll be time for questions. Just note your questions down so that I can take them when the time is right. So business loan options, right, for Nigerian MSMEs. Of course, there are different loan options. There are loan options from banks, right? They're from banks, either commercial bank, microfinance banks, right? Or different specialized banks like Bank of Agri, Bank of Industry, and the likes, right? And there is also loans that you can take from financial institutions, right? Such as cooperatives, such as financial technology companies, even friends and family like thrifts, right? And all of that, right? So there are different ways you can access loans, right, for your business, either as a for-profit or for a non-profit organization. And there are some typical types of loan available, which is working capital, asset finance, and term loan. Right, so working capital loans are typically loans that finance your operations, basically your basic running of your organizations, like buying inventory or paying your salary, staff salary, paying your suppliers, right? Running your day-to-day business expenses, right? So there are loans available for that, right, in those categories. There are asset financing, right? Asset financing are types of loans that Bank of Agri does a lot of asset financing where they want to finance agri businesses, but you will not hear them saying that, that you should go and bring an invoice for your supplier where you want to buy from. That's a form of asset financing. They will not give you the raw cash, but they will buy the equipment for you. So if you need a tractor, they will finance your tractor purchase, right? If you need a PD machine, a form of processing machine, they will finance it, but they will not give you the physical cash, but they will finance any machinery that you need to use for your work or for your organization. And especially businesses that are in some form of manufacturing or processing, either food processing or some form of textile processing or textile manufacturing. It could even be fashion, right? Fashion, like if you're into fashion and you need machineries and all of that, they provide a whole of those assets, right? Financing. And sometimes it could even be land, right? Maybe you want to acquire a farmland for your business, for your farm and all of that. So they do quite a number of those, right? And different platforms give as much loans in different areas. CBN can give loans up to 25 million naira. In fact, I can tell you categorically that there are loans from BOI, yes, that is up to 1 billion, right? And it's as low as 3%, 6% per annum. And then they will give you 1 year moratorium period for you to before you even start paying back. They'll first give you a 1 year lead time before you start paying back, especially for BOI. But the importance about it is how you package and you position your application, right? And how you are also able to get assistance for it. One of the things that, of course, there is also microfinance, but microfinance and some fintech lenders can be a bit on the high side, right? But if what you need are quick turnaround loans that with no collateral and all of that, those are places where you can easily get those loans, and they are very fast turnaround time for your application to be approved and the funds disbursed to you. But you have to ensure that whatever you are getting the money for is worth it. That means that your business model is able to repay back the loan, right? You don't go and get a loan that's for it limits them from getting future credit, right? So it's important to continue to build, right? And don't get loans that you know that you don't have a sound plan for, especially loans without collateral, because they seem easy to get, but without a sound plan, they can become some serious issues in the future. Now, how also do you position yourself for loans? Now, did you see, if you are seeing my screen, I intentionally did my screen. This stuff you are seeing on my screen, I intentionally put the picture there. Sorry, if you don't mind me asking, who is on this call that their head is like that? That something has happened in the middle of their head. So, so if you don't apply for the right loan, if you go and apply for the wrong loan, and the bank is chasing you, that can happen to you quickly. The air in the middle of your head can recede and fall off faster and go bald. So that's why I put it there, just to remind you that you should be careful where you get your loans from, and that you should get your business well before you apply for loan, right? So so what can you do properly to position yourself for the right loan and to ensure that your business is prepared for it? You have to define your needs, right? What do you need the loan for, right? What do you need the loan for? You have to determine the exact amount you need, right? That means that you have to have some form of plan ahead, right? Is the loan for a new business, or is the loan for a new product line in an existing business, or is the loan to buy something, an equipment that would then help you generate more revenue, right? But remember that whatever you use a loan for, right, when you are getting a loan, make sure that you are using it for something that would give your business capacity to generate more revenue, so that you have capacity to pay back the loan. Always ensure to get loans to power the growth of businesses. What do I mean by that? When you decide to go get a loan, it is best practice. It is best that the loan you are getting, you are using it to fund the growth of your business. So that means typically you use the loan to fund expansion. You use it to fund new revenue channels, right, for your business. It is quite important. Now, of course, you have to also check eligibility, right? What are the requirements? Check the interest rates. What do they need you to have? What type of businesses did they say is eligible? How long should you have been operating for, right? What sort of documentation should you have? Now, a lot of people would not be able to get business loans because at this 21st century, they are still using their personal account to be collecting money for their business, right? To make it worse, some of them, I don't know, but I believe that there is nobody on this call that this applies to. Is there anybody on this call that is not, their business is not registered? You are running a business and your business is not registered. Raise up your hand. Yusuf Dane, are you raising up your hand or you are clapping? Which one? Because we need to be sure. Is it that your business is registered or is not registered? Right? Okay. So you need to register your business if your business is not registered. In this 21st century, right? Because any capital you are trying to get for your business is not going to be put into your personal account. It's not a personal fund. It is a business fund. And it must have a specific purpose it has to do in that business. And the impact it has to make, right? So it's quite important. You must have, number one, your business must be registered, right? Number two, you must have a separate account for your business than from your personal. Number three, all the revenue you get for your business, right? When your customers are paying you, don't collect it into your personal account. Use your business account to collect those revenue. Don't collect revenue into your personal account. Use your business to collect the revenue. And the reason is because when it is time for you to apply for loans, right? The bank or the financial organization, even for some grants, they will ask you to provide your bank statement. And do you know why they ask you that? They want to see how you've been managing the previous money that you've been having in your business. Either you've been mismanaging it, right? So now for some people, right, when money enters into their account, right, the first thing is they do is thank God it's Friday. Dorime. You understand now? Are you the type of person that you will collect loan and it is Dorime that you will do? And it is a pepper soup that I'm not saying you should not enjoy life, right? But what I'm saying is that all of those things have a way of showing up in your, as a log in your financial statements, right? Who you pay, right? If they are just seeing that every time, for example, you submit your bank statement, even if it's a personal loan you're applying for, you submit your bank statement, and they are seeing every week or every day, they are seeing 7,000 Yalamala hotspots, food spots, 7,000. The loan officer will be like, this one we use our money to finish. This one we use all our money to buy. Do you understand? So all of those things are important. They are very important. They are the things that limit your capacity to access these funds. Because if you've shown a tendency for fund mismanagement or for fund misappropriation, right? So you must pay key attention to those things, right? I also talked about, yes, preparing your documentation, right? They can ask you for things like your CAC documents, right? They can ask for your audited financial statement. Do you have an audited financial statement? Are you paying your taxes, right? Do you have a tax clearance certificate, right? Some businesses on this call, I don't know, I'm hoping you are not part of them, but if you are part, please, you have to adjust. Are you paying your VAT? And even if you don't qualify to pay for VAT, probably you are under the tax exemption rule, right? Are you filing for your VAT that you are not paying? Are you filing 00? You need to file for all of those things, right? You need to file for your company income tax. Those things are important. If you don't do it, right, you think there are a lot of work. And I can tell you that the cost of you not doing now is the opportunity cost of you losing access to millions of naira that could have grown that business. Do you get now? So the small change you pay for them now, they are much cheaper in the long run to the opportunity you will lose because of them. So it is important, right? And of course, like I said, right, you have to have a business plan, right? If you cannot write a business plan yourself, it is best that the business owner writes the business plan themselves. And the reason is because nobody can know your business like you. There is nobody that can know your business like you. But peradventure, even if you hire someone to write the business plan for you, right? You will be the one to sit them down and tell them exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, how it must go. Their job is now to help you tell that story better and document it into a business plan. And then when they even share it with you, you must understudy it and understand and make corrections in case there's an implementation they said they are going to do and you are not doing it that way. Do you understand? Or that there is something that they need that you need to implement and they've written the correct way you need to implement it so that you can know how to implement it and go and implement it, right? So all of those things are quite important. So you don't just think that we pay someone, they will do it, and then let's say they now approve stage 1 of your loan or stage 1 of your grants. They now tell you that, oh, we need you to come physically, or you need to step on to show on a video meeting link or virtual meeting link to just come give us more understanding of your business. And then they will now ask questions about your application. And then you'll be looking like what will you now be looking like now? I don't even know what to say, right? So, but you'll be looking like something, right? And that something eventually will not get the grant or the loan, right? And that's not when that you step on the call, and then you will now be doing you'll be doing as if your network is breaking. You would the stuff will not be freezing. You'll be saying yes, I can't hear what you are saying, thinking that you are skipping the question. They will just deny you. So now the other thing also is, like I mentioned before, you have to evaluate the interest, the collateral requirement. Is there a collateral requirement? Do you have the collateral, right? What sort of collateral are they requesting for? Is it cash collateral in terms of money? Do they want to see that you have a level of deposit inside in their account in the bank or with them, with that particular institution? Or do they want you to have some level of property, right? Is it a car? Is it a landed property, right? So those are some of the criteria you have to look at, right? And what is their interest rate? Is their interest rate, is it monthly repayments? Is it is it reducing balance? Is it static interest rates, right? Can the interest rate increase during the process of the loan after I've collected the loan, right? If I default on a loan, right, what are the default rates? Those are the things you have to ask so that you understand, you can calculate all the consequences, you understand, in and out before you collect the money in your hands. Because once the money is in your hands, you're already bound by that contract. Once the money enters your hand, you're already bound by it, right? So you need to understand, get all of those details. I think I've really spoken a lot on this already. Move to the next screen. Yes, so these recommended lenders, I just put a bunch there. I could not find some of their pictures. So, but of course, there is CBN programs, there is microfinances, and there are fintechs, right? For example, personally, now I don't have anything against Lapo, but there is a what should I call it now? There is a branding image of Lapo that is not very favorable to a lot of small business owners, and that is the sense that they claim that there's this song that if you use Lapo's money to run your business, you are going to be in trouble or something like that. Or I can't remember the song. But basically, you don't collect money from microfinance banks and go and use it for personal stuff. Right? You don't do that. That can put you in a lot of trouble because the interest rates can be high if you're not careful, and you may not be able to afford to pay it. Right? So then the other thing I want to talk about is investments. Right? What other options do you have, like investment options? So now there are different investment options, right? So now you can so there are two things that I do. There are two sides to investment. So there is the side that your business can attract investments, right? There is the side that even you as a business can do investment. But let's talk about the fact that you can attract investments, right? So how can you as a business attract investment? The number one is corporate governance. And why is corporate governance really important? You see, corporate governance shows that in Yoruba, there is a word that says that someone that has rope behind them, only Okunidi or something like that, right? That's what corporate governance does and assures, right? It assures the people that it assures the people that wants to invest in you, right? That's what corporate governance does. It assures them that there is accountability structure, right? So that means that for you to attract investment, you have to undergo something that is called investment readiness, right? You have to be investment ready as a business, right? And for you to be investment ready, there is some documentation you must have, right? And depending on the level of investment, it will determine the level of documentation you have to have. For example, now your family can invest in your business, like your uncle, your auntie, and all of that, right? Family members, right, can invest in your business. That may not involve as much documentation as if it is a venture capital firm, or it is a bank that is investing, or maybe it's a group of people you don't know, or someone that just contacted you and said, "Oh, I love what you are doing. I want to invest. I want to come and invest in your company," right? So those should be different because the conversation is quite easy. Those family and friends are investing in you based on your existing credibility. They've known you. You're a family member. They've known that, oh, you have not been swindling people. You've not been duping people. They know that you're a credible person as an individual. So they are banking on your character as an individual. That is why your character and your reputation must really matter to you, right? You must not have a character and reputation that even your family members cannot borrow money to, and you will then expect to raise external capital. That can be very dangerous, right? So you must keep a very sound track record. Then another thing also is that you must have a very sound credit score. That applies for grants, that applies for loans, that applies for investment. Because when people want to invest in you, organizations or or investment companies, they do what is called due diligence, right? In that due diligence, they check out your profiles, right? In terms of your credit history, do you have existing loans that you've not paid? Are they that are derelict or that are already bad debts that you've not paid off, right? So I want to ask a question. Is anybody here that is owing PAMPay, Money Points, what is it called now? Or even Vant or OPay money, and you've not paid back? Is there anybody? So sorry, Bello Adam, are you raising that you have not paid back, that you have a loan that you did not pay back?
Honestly speaking, Mr. Paul, I one of the people that points via money, and then it affects me seriously because I took the loan.
Okay, I can barely hear you though.
So I now face a lot of problem.
Okay, continue, please. Continue,
yeah,
please.
So my business, it's very unfortunate I faced post-election violence whereby unknown people came to my factory, stole out the machineries and all of that. And then I just took the loan for me to clear some emergency in terms of my bag get collapsed. And then I will not be able to pay them. So the time I was opportune to apply to Bank of Industry, rapid loan to Bank of Industry. It's very unfortunate when they undergo credit search, they now find out that I earn their money, which they have already reported my credit yeah, credit money. So that is how I lost it.
That's why you lost the opportunity, right?
Yes, that was the experience I had.
Yeah, thank you, please, thank you. So you can mute now. Thank you very much. So this is my last slide. Actually, I'm actually done, right? So yes, that is true, right? You will lose opportunities even if it is a personal loan you took and you did not repay. You will be reported to the credit system and you'll be blacklisted there. So when you will not know in the future, when you now want to apply for a very big opportunity that your business needs to grow, those ones they will do due diligence. At the end of the day, they will see that you have a bad credit system. A bad credit score, right? And then you have non-performing loans, and then they will deny you. They won't see you as a credible person, right? So, like I said, you have to be investment ready. You have to know how to pitch yourself properly. You have to create a pitch to sell your pitch in the to sell your business, with just a few slides, right? You have to understand your elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is basically saying that you have to be able to sell on and communicate what you do in just 30 seconds or 1 minute, so that you can spur interest of the person to ask you more or to want to find out more, right? So there is just a whole lot that you can do to position yourself, right? But one of the most important thing is build integrity, build a pipeline of evidence, right? Communicate what you're doing clearly, right? Tell your story, right? Ensure that you don't have bad credit scores, right? Have a corporate structure for your organization. You cannot raise investment when you are just a one-man business doing everything, because the person who is investing, or the organization who want to invest in you, they want to see that if anything were to happen to this person, the business can carry on. Do you get? So at that point, is the business is more than just you, right? You must create a structure, and you must be accountable to a corporate structure that can hold you to accountability, that can hold you to correction and to check, so that you don't misbehave out of proportion. Do you get? So all of those things are important. Then you have to have something called data room, where you have a whole of this documentation, things like taxes that you've paid, your CIT, your corporate structures, even your employment contracts with your employees. How do you pay them? What sort of salaries? What sort of contracts do you provide for them? How do you manage them? Right? Your processes documentation. How do you ensure certain processes in your organization? What processes do you carry on to deliver your product, or to manage your customers, or to do quite a number of things, right? So all of those things are things that you need to document, right? So those are some of the few things that you need for investment. And of course, you can also keep learning. One of the you can actually learn how to better get yourself investment ready, right? There's a website called SDC Startup School. I recommend it if you are trying to build a startup, or even if you are just building a business. Like, you basically learn more things about startup readiness, and it is free. SDCStartupSchool.com, right? Check it out and subscribe and learn, right? And of course, learn from all of other platforms. And of course, as you are learning here, but most importantly, when you learn those things, put them to work. So we've discussed grants, we've discussed loans, and we've discussed investment, but we can't discuss it actually exhaustively on this call. So if you have any questions, please ask, right? And I'm glad to spend this time with us. Thank you. Any questions, please? Or is it after the two sessions? Can we take questions now?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So I think for the questions, let's just note them. We can take all your questions together after the section, so that we don't have too many back. Can you hear me, sir?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, that works. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that section. I personally have learned a lot. Can you please help us appreciate Mr. Paul Akolade, because he has really joined out a whole lot. If you had really learned something, let me know. And let me just know you really learned something. Even you would know that, oh, yeah, we really had to do our homework to bring in facilitators who would give you the best knowledge that you need, not just to come and tell you jamboree, but things that you really need to know that will help your business grow. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Really appreciate you. Okay, so before I bring in the next facilitator, I want to celebrate everyone. I bring in Mr. Paul before I remember that today is the MSME day. So I celebrate everyone. Well done for the work you've been putting in. Thank you. God bless you. At least you're feeling your impact in Nigeria. You're part of those that are making our economy grow. So well done. Thank you very much.